Some of the most popular chocolate bars in America are no longer built around chocolate, and if you buy chocolate for flavor, there is a good chance you are already paying more for less of the one ingredient that actually matters. We proved it. After analyzing major brands, the shift was clear. Less cocoa, more engineering. These are the 9 chocolate bars that came out worst, including one brand most people still believe is premium. Number 9. Hershey's Milk Chocolate. It is the most iconic chocolate bar in America. The brown wrapper, the block letters, that unmistakable smell when you tear open the package. For generations, Hershey's Milk Chocolate has been synonymous with the word chocolate itself. It is the bar your grandparents shared, the one stuffed into Halloween bags and the default choice at every checkout aisle from coast to coast. But here is the uncomfortable truth hiding behind all that nostalgia. What you are actually eating is mostly sugar and milk, with cocoa playing a surprisingly small supporting role. Meinting, flip that wrapper over and look at the ingredients. Sugar comes first, then milk. Cocoa butter appears before actual chocolate even enters the picture. The cocoa content in a standard Hershey's Milk Chocolate bar hovers around 11%. For comparison, European regulations require at least 25% cocoa solids for something to even be called milk chocolate. What Hershey's delivers is a product engineered for sweetness and shelf stability, not chocolate depth. And then there is the flavor itself, that slightly tangy, almost sour note that many people associate with American chocolate. That comes from a process involving butyric acid, the same compound found in Parmesan cheese and, well, vomit. Hershey's has been using this method for over a century to extend shelf life. And while Americans have grown up with this taste, chocolate experts around the world describe it as off-putting or artificial. Nutritionally, the numbers do not help. A single standard bar contains around 24 grams of sugar and 13 grams of fat. That is nearly 6 teaspoons of sugar in one small bar. Eat it quickly, and your blood sugar spikes, then crashes, leaving you reaching for another. The formulation practically encourages overeating while delivering almost none of cocoa's natural benefits like flavonoids and antioxidants. If Hershey's is your go-to, here is a smarter swap. Lindt Excellence 70% or 85% dark chocolate bars shift the entire structure back toward cocoa. Higher cocoa percentage, fewer filler ingredients, and a much stronger chocolate profile. You actually taste chocolate, not sugar dressed up as chocolate. But Hershey's is still trying to be chocolate. The next bar barely even pretends. Number 8. Crunch. That satisfying snap. The crispy rice puffs crackling between your teeth. Crunch bars have been a movie theater staple and lunchbox favorite for decades, and the texture is fun. The sweetness is immediate, and the whole experience feels light and harmless. But once you look past that signature crackle, you will find there is barely any chocolate in this bar at all. The ingredient list tells the real story. Sugar leads the way, followed by vegetable oil, cocoa butter, skim milk powder, and then crisped rice. Actual chocolate liquor, the part that makes chocolate taste like chocolate, appears much further down. What you are really eating is a sugar and rice delivery system with a thin chocolate-flavored coating holding it all together. The texture is doing 90% of the work. The chocolate is almost an afterthought. Crunch bars contain roughly 10% cocoa content, which puts them at the very bottom of what can legally be called chocolate in the United States. And because the crisped rice adds air and crunch without adding cocoa, every bite is lighter on real chocolate than it appears. You feel like you are eating a chocolate bar, but nutritionally and structurally, you are mostly eating puffed grains and sugar. One serving delivers about 20 grams of sugar and 10 grams of fat. The sugar hits fast, the crunch satisfies momentarily, and then you are hungry again within the hour. There's almost no fiber, minimal protein, and none of the slow-release energy that comes from higher cocoa chocolate. If you love that textured chocolate experience but want something real, Ghirardelli Intense Dark, 72% or higher, gives you dense, actual chocolate with far less reliance on sugar and texture fillers. The cocoa is front and center, not buried under gimmicks. If crunch is chocolate-flavored candy, the next one isn't even that. It's a biscuit pretending to be a chocolate bar. Number 7. Kit Kat. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. It is one of the most recognized slogans in candy history. Kit Kat has been a global phenomenon for decades, beloved for its iconic shape, that satisfying snap, and the layered wafer experience that feels different from every other candy on the shelf. But here's what most people never stop to consider. Kit Kat is not really a chocolate bar. It is a wafer cookie with a chocolate coating. Look at what you are actually eating. The bulk of a Kit Kat is made from wheat flour, sugar, and vegetable oil, all baked into those crispy wafer layers. The chocolate is a thin outer shell designed to melt quickly on your tongue and deliver sweetness, not depth. When you break down the structure, chocolate makes up a small fraction of the total bar. The wafer is the star. The chocolate is the costume. The cocoa content in Kit Kat's coating hovers around 15% in the United States version, which is low even by milk chocolate standards. And because most of each bite is refined flour and sugar from the wafer, you are consuming far more processed carbohydrates than actual cocoa. One standard 4-finger bar packs about 22 grams of sugar and 11 grams of fat. That is more sugar than some candy bars that are entirely chocolate. Kit Kat has also faced scrutiny over its sourcing practices. Reports have linked some of the palm oil used in Kit Kat production to deforestation and habitat destruction, raising ethical concerns beyond just nutrition. While Nestlé has made commitments to improve sourcing, critics argue progress has been slow. If you want real chocolate that does not hide behind wafers, Theo chocolate dark bars are built around organic, fair trade cocoa with simpler ingredient lists. Chocolate is the foundation, not a decorative layer wrapped around flour and fat, but Kit Kat is still sold as chocolate. The next one is not even built around chocolate at all. Number 6, Butterfinger. That crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery texture has made Butterfinger a fan favorite for generations. The flaky orange center, the way it shatters when you bite into it, and that sweet and salty combination keep people coming back. But make no mistake, Butterfinger is not chocolate. It is a candy bar that happens to have a thin chocolate-flavored coating. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment. Corn syrup and sugar dominate the formula. Then comes hydrogenated palm kernel oil, peanuts, and a long list of stabilizers, emulsifiers, and flavor systems. The chocolate coating itself is made with cocoa processed with alkali, which strips away many of the natural flavonoids, plus vegetable oils that replace traditional cocoa butter. The result is a product engineered for texture and shelf stability, not genuine chocolate flavor. Cocoa content in Butterfinger's coating sits well below 15%. The bar is roughly 70% sugar-based filling and 30% coating. So when you eat a Butterfinger, you are consuming mostly corn syrup, hydrogenated fats, and artificial flavor systems. One regular-sized bar contains 22 grams of sugar and 11 grams of fat, with a significant portion of that fat coming from hydrogenated oils, which have been linked to inflammation and heart health concerns. And let us talk about the recent history. When Ferrara Candy Company acquired Butterfinger from Nestlé in 2018, they reformulated the recipe. Many longtime fans noticed the change immediately. Online complaints flooded in, with customers describing the new version as waxy, stale tasting, and nothing like the original. The brand tried to position the change as an improvement, but sales and reviews suggest otherwise. For a real chocolate experience with crunch, endangered species chocolate, 72 to 88% delivers high cocoa focus, fewer additives, and bars built around cocoa rather than sugar systems. Butterfinger at least shows you it's candy. The next one hides almost everything under caramel and whipped sugar. Number 5, Milky Way soft, chewy, and draped in smooth chocolate coating. Milky Way has positioned itself as one of America's classic comfort candies. The nougat, the caramel, the chocolate shell. It all comes together in a bar that feels indulgent and satisfying. But when you actually examine what makes up a Milky Way, you will find that chocolate is the smallest player in the game. The structure of a Milky Way is roughly 60% nougat, 25% caramel, and only about 15% chocolate coating. That means for every bite, you are eating mostly whipped sugar filling and corn syrup caramel. The chocolate layer is thin, sweet, and designed to melt away quickly. It is there for appearance and a hint of flavor, not substance. Nutritionally, the numbers are brutal. One standard bar contains 35 grams of sugar. That is nearly 9 teaspoons in a single serving. It also packs 8 grams of fat and offers almost no protein or fiber to slow down digestion. The sugar hits your bloodstream fast, spikes your energy, and then crashes you hard. It is the kind of formulation that leaves you wanting more while delivering nothing of nutritional value. The cocoa content in the chocolate coating is estimated around 10 to 12%, which barely qualifies as chocolate by international standards. There is no depth, no bitterness, no complexity, just sweetness layered on sweetness. The bar is engineered for one thing: maximum palatability with minimum cocoa cost. Milky Way has also drawn criticism for its marketing toward children despite its extreme sugar content. Health advocates have called out Mars, the parent company, for promoting products like Milky Way as fun treats while downplaying the impact of consuming nearly a full day's worth of added sugar in one candy bar. If you want chocolate that is actually chocolate, alter Eco Dark. Chocolate bars offer shorter ingredient lists, organic cocoa, and formulations where chocolate is the main structure, not just a thin coating hiding layers of sugar. If Milky Way is mostly sugar, the next one is mostly air, and people eat it thinking it's lighter. Number 4, Three Musketeers. Light, fluffy, and supposedly lower in fat than other candy bars. Three Musketeers has marketed itself as a smarter indulgence for decades. That whipped nougat center feels airy and less heavy than denser chocolate bars. But here is what that lightness actually means. You are eating a bar that is almost entirely whipped sugar with a paper-thin chocolate shell around it. The filling inside a Three Musketeers bar is made from sugar, corn syrup, and egg whites whipped together to create that signature fluffy texture. The chocolate coating is minimal, designed to provide color and a hint of cocoa flavor, not actual chocolate substance. When you bite into a Three Musketeers, you are consuming roughly 80% sugar filling and 20% chocolate coating by weight. The air whipped into the nougat makes it feel bigger than it is, but calorically and structurally, it is a sugar bomb. One bar contains 36 grams of sugar. That is the highest on our list so far and represents about 72% of the daily recommended limit for added sugars in one single candy bar. The fat content is lower than some competitors, which is how Mars has marketed the lighter angle. But replacing fat with even more sugar is not a health win. It is a trade that sends blood sugar levels soaring. The cocoa content in the chocolate shell is estimated around 12%. The chocolate exists to hold the shape and provide a thin layer of flavor. It is not there to deliver a genuine chocolate experience. If you remove the coating, you would have pure whipped sugar filling that tastes almost identical to marshmallow fluff. Three Musketeers has also been criticized for its portion size deception. The bar looks substantial, but much of that volume is air. Consumers feel like they are eating a full candy bar while getting mostly trapped air bubbles coated in sugar, for an actual chocolate treat with less sugar. Dominance? Lily's Extra Dark, or 70% dark, offers higher cocoa content and real chocolate structure. Still a treat, but far closer to what chocolate should be. The next one is the most emotionally defended bar on this list. People don't just eat it, they identify with it. Number 3, Reese's Two Great Tastes That Taste Great Together. That slogan has made Reese's one of the best-selling candies in America. The combination of peanut butter and chocolate feels like a perfect match. And for millions of people, Reese's is not just candy. It is a craving category all on its own. But when you examine what is actually inside a Reese's cup, you realize the chocolate is barely there. This is peanut candy first and chocolate a distant second. Look at the structure. The peanut butter filling makes up roughly 65% of a standard Reese's cup. The chocolate shell accounts for the remaining 35%. But that shell is not high-quality chocolate. It is low cocoa, milk chocolate engineered to melt fast and taste sweet. The cocoa content hovers around 11%, which is just enough to legally be called chocolate in the United States. The peanut butter filling is not traditional peanut butter either. It is a blend of peanuts, sugar, dextrose, salt, and hydrogenated vegetable oils designed to stay soft and shelf-stable. Real peanut butter separates and firms up. Reese's filling does neither because it is formulated with stabilizers and added fats. Nutritionally, a 2-cup serving delivers 22 grams of sugar and 13 grams of fat. The combination of sugar from the filling and the chocolate shell creates a hyper-palatable experience that triggers cravings. Studies have shown that the salt and sugar combination in Reese's activates reward centers in the brain more intensely than either component alone. Reese's has also faced lawsuits. In 2022, a class action suit was filed claiming the pumpkin and holiday-shaped Reese's products were misleading because the decorative design shown on packaging did not match the actual product. While this was about appearance, it highlighted growing consumer frustration with the brand's marketing practices. For real chocolate that is actually the main ingredient, Hu dark chocolate bars offer simpler ingredient lists, no soy lecithin, and high cocoa content. Chocolate is the star, not a thin wrapper around flavored peanut paste. If Reese's breaks chocolate expectations, the next one breaks health expectations because it's sold as dark. Number 2, Hershey's Special Dark. It is the dark chocolate bar that has been sitting in the candy aisle for decades, promising something richer and more sophisticated than regular milk chocolate. Hershey's Special Dark has built its identity on the word dark, making consumers believe they are choosing a healthier, more authentic chocolate option. But the reality behind that deep-colored wrapper is far less impressive than it appears. Start with the ingredients. Sugar is listed first. That means there is more sugar in this bar than any other single ingredient, including cocoa. What follows is chocolate, cocoa butter, cocoa processed with alkali, milk fat, and a list of emulsifiers and flavorings. The cocoa content is estimated around 45%, which sounds reasonable until you realize that much of it has been Dutch processed, a method that strips away many of the beneficial flavonoids that make dark chocolate valuable in the first place. Dutch processing or alkalizing cocoa neutralizes the natural bitterness and creates a smoother taste. But that smoothness comes at a cost. Studies have shown that Dutch processed cocoa retains only about 10 to 15% of the antioxidants found in natural cocoa. So even though Hershey's Special Dark looks and tastes like dark chocolate, it delivers far fewer of the health benefits that draw people to dark chocolate in the first place. Nutritionally, one bar contains 24 grams of sugar and 13 grams of fat. That is nearly identical to regular Hershey's milk chocolate. The word dark creates an illusion of health, but the numbers tell a different story. You're still eating a sugar-forward product with chocolate as the secondary player. Hershey's has faced criticism from chocolate purists who argue that Special Dark should not be marketed as premium dark chocolate when its cocoa content and processing methods fall short of European standards. True dark chocolate should lead with cocoa, not sugar. For dark chocolate that actually behaves like cacao, Taza Stone Ground Chocolate 70% and Up offers very high cocoa content, minimal processing, and an ingredient list where chocolate does the heavy lifting. Now, number 1 is not a brand. It's the version of chocolate millions of people buy every week without thinking. And it is the lowest quality chocolate most Americans will ever eat. Number 1, Dollar Store and budget chocolate bars. They sit by the register at discount stores, gas stations, and checkout aisles across America. Bright wrappers, familiar shapes, and prices so low they seem impossible. Dollar store chocolate bars and budget brand knockoffs are everywhere, and for many families, they are the most accessible chocolate option available. But what you are getting for that rock-bottom price is some of the lowest quality chocolate in the entire country. And calling it chocolate at all is generous. These bars are formulated to hit the cheapest possible price point. That means cocoa content is slashed to the legal minimum, often around 10% or lower. To compensate, manufacturers load the bars with sugar, vegetable fats like palm kernel oil or soybean oil, artificial flavorings, emulsifiers, and bulking agents. Some budget bars replace cocoa butter entirely with cheaper vegetable oils, which technically disqualifies them from being called chocolate under strict definitions. The Yiiwara result is a product that looks like chocolate, is shaped like chocolate, and sits in the chocolate aisle, but behaves nothing like real chocolate. The texture is waxy. The flavor is flat and overly sweet. The aftertaste lingers with a chemical, artificial note. There's no depth, no snap, and no satisfying finish. It is chocolate theater designed to trick your brain into thinking you are eating the real thing. Nutritionally, these bars are disasters. High sugar, high unhealthy fats, minimal cocoa, and zero nutritional benefit. Some budget brands have even been flagged for containing undisclosed allergens or failing quality tests for heavy metal contamination. Reports have found elevated levels of lead and cadmium in some low-cost chocolate products, which poses serious long-term health risks, especially for children who consume them regularly. And the ethical concerns are equally troubling. Budget chocolate is often sourced from supply chains with little transparency, raising questions about labor practices and environmental impact. If you want affordable chocolate that is still real chocolate, Trader Joe's Organic 72% or 85% and Equal Exchange chocolate prove that budget-friendly does not have to mean low quality. These options keep cocoa as the main ingredient while maintaining simpler, cleaner formulas. That is the truth about chocolate in America. Not all bars are created equal, and the ones dominating store shelves are often the worst offenders. But now you know what to avoid and what to reach for instead.